Hello, thank you so much for watching. We just decided, Katiza and I decided to record a quick video about the Marketing Like We're Human program. And Katiza has offered kindly to ask me some questions. She was just a participant in the last cohort. And so she has offered to return the mic and ask me some questions about the program. Thanks for doing this, Katiza. Hello.
Hi, Sarah. Yes, you are welcome. And so then let's just start, I think. How would you describe what is the Marketing Like We Are Human program, aka the Client Resonator?
Yeah, it really is the foundational program. It's a program where we go deep into figuring out who you are, what you stand for, and then having this foundation that you can then bring into your marketing. So often, over the last almost 20 years in business, I've participated in marketing programs that are more about the techniques and, how do you create a LinkedIn post and how do you put up a Facebook Live, those kind of things, right? But if we don't take the time to actually think about the core of our business, why we are in business, who we are in business, and then how all of that information translates into our marketing. That's what the Marketing Like We're Human program really does, I think. So we're going deep. I'm just gonna hold up the 7 Ps of humane marketing, right? That's the foundation of this program. And so we're really starting with the P of passion. That is all about figuring out, well, why are you in business? What out of all the things that you could have chosen to do business around, why this thing? Why are you so passionate about your life's work? And then we go into P of personal power and people, product. So you can see that in the beginning, it's a bit more being oriented. So who are you? Why are you doing this? And then we go more into the doing, which is the concept of, okay, so now how do we translate all of this knowledge and bring it into the marketing, the communication, the getting clients, so that all of this messaging that we're doing, this showing up, actually resonates with our clients. So that's a long answer to a short question.
Yeah. And what would you say is then the outcome of your program for your participants?
Yeah. Well, the pragmatic outcome, the promise is, well, it helps you get clients, right? That's the idea of why we do marketing. And so that is the promise. But it's more than that. It helps you get clients that really resonate with you. That's why I added the AKA, the client resonator. So it really comes from this place of you are creating your life's work. So this is a program that works with change makers who are really trying to not just build a business that pays the bills, but create a business that is aligned with whom they are and therefore is also aligned with their clients. It's a business that creates change. And so by bringing all of that information into the world, it will resonate with your ideal clients. So the outcome of the program is, I would say, twofold. Yes, getting clients who resonate with you, but it's also a much deeper understanding of who you are, how you're wired, all of that, and how that reflects in your business. And maybe I can ask you, because you just went through it, would you agree with that? Is that kind of like how to sum it up?
Yes, yes, exactly. Perfectly. Like, yes, yes. What you said, like, yes, clarity about who you are and why you are doing it. And for me, the outcome is clarity and relief. Like these are
Relief.
the two
Okay.
things
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
got, like besides, all the technical and strategic and so on and so forth, which is important. But yeah, clarity and relief. I
Mhm.
feel so relieved now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that a lot. Like permission to do it your way, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we start with yourself. So rather than always being distracted by all these latest shoulds and all the techniques out there, you always come back to, well, this is how I'm going to do it because of who I am, because of who I want to resonate with, because of the change I want to create, because of how I'm wired uniquely differently from everyone else. So yeah, a lot of permission as well. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And what's included in the Marketing Like We Are Human program?
Yeah, so now we're getting more into the specifics. Well, how does the program work, right? So it's a hybrid program, which means that I built this in 2019 and took it through 3 beta rounds in 2019 to really create a program with the people, with the participants, and making sure that it is what people need and want. And so I created a video portion of the program that I've since updated. All the videos are updated. So that's part of the homework. It always comes with a workbook for self-reflection, because the participants are really deep thinkers. So we're not just kind of wanting to, go into the strategies. We really want to go deep, and the video and the workbook helps with that. And then we also come together as a community in the live group calls every week. And I find like that is is a huge addition. I really started to struggle with just online programs, with the integrity of the just online programs. I know, yes, they're more affordable and there might be a need for it, but we know from numbers that so many people buy the programs and then don't actually do them. And for me, there's kind of like a missing integrity. If I just, get the money, but people don't get the results, I really care about getting people results. So it's like, well, the group calls, they're part of that. You're becoming part of a community. And it's not for nothing that the 7th P is the P of partnership. So I really walk my talk in the group as well. And we create accountability buddies to help each other go through the program. So yeah, all of that is part of that live experience.
Yes, and you touched upon the topics already with the mandala. Do you want to like elaborate a little bit more like on the topics and maybe why you have like arranged it the way you have? Why
Right.
it's a mandala?
Yeah, I can do that. So again, these are the 7 Ps of humane marketing. They're based on the traditional model of the 7 Ps. And I just remodeled it and shaped it into the form of a mandala, because a mandala helps you get to your center. So it's a creative process that helps you get to who you are, clarity around who you are, and coming then to marketing and business from that place of who you are. And you mentioned it, the permission piece is hugely important. And so that's why I structured it like that. And so the first 3 Ps are really this notion of being, finding out more about your human being and who you are, and bringing then that into the doing, which is the traditional product pricing and promotion Ps. And so it really is kind of this journey that we go on. And it's always interesting after the first 2 or maybe 3 Ps, it's hard because sometimes, which is what happened to me, is like we're in business with this mask on where we just feel like, okay, we're business owners. But what I take my participants on is this journey of really going back to becoming human, and just kind of grasping this idea of, yes, I run a business, but I'm human first, and I'm really creating my life's work. And so that's why we go so deep. But then from the depth, we then go into the more strategic and, okay, now we know all of this information, but how do we bring it now out into the world? So we go from the inner to the outer. And in the outer, we talk about the product. Well, what is your service? What is the value that you're offering? what is what is your offering? How is it structured? Et cetera, et cetera. And then we have the really kind of, difficult but so needed conversation about pricing and money. And in one of the videos, I share my money story, and we just kind of like, I told you, we'll go deep. It's like, yeah, we need to look at that information and go, okay, so maybe that's why I've always struggled with pricing my offerings. And then promotion, which we just recently talked about in the group, Katitza, is this idea of, we don't even really like the word promotion anymore. It's more about sharing our message and inviting people into an experience, and yeah, just being visible and sharing our offerings. And then the final P is about partnership, which I really truly think that's the future of the new business paradigm. It's all about collaborating, finding like-minded people. We have the Humane Marketing Circle as our community for that, but it's just so important that as an entrepreneur, you find your community. So whether that is ours or any other community, doesn't matter, but finding support is super key as an entrepreneur, coach, consultant, change maker nowadays. So it almost seems like, well, what does that have to do with marketing? Well, everything, because when you look at some of the LinkedIn posts or reels on Instagram or whatever it might be, there's just no depth to these posts. And you can just tell that people are just kind of following a script or, some kind of advice that they've heard. And the people that we and my clients and the participants of this program want to attract, they're not at this shallow end. They're really deep thinkers. And so there needs to be this deep foundation in order to be able to bring that into your marketing, your communications, etc. So that's the 7 Ps.
Yes, thank you so much. And then you also like explained why you have added like the live calls. Now, would you say that of course you can't like at the end of each participant has to decide whether he or she wants to show up live, but would you say that someone can get the results the program promises without attending the live calls?
Yeah, I've had participants before who are just not big fans of the live calls, or it didn't work out in terms of the time zone. And they did tell me that they really, got a lot out of the program and got the same results. It also, I think, depends on your personality. Some people that I seem to resonate with are just very introverted. And so they're like in a group setting, they're just not comfortable. And so I wouldn't force anybody to attend the live calls. But I always, whenever I run the group cohort, which is twice per year, I really always encourage participants to take part of these live calls, not just for the group experience, but also because that's where I bring in new things every time, right? Otherwise, I would get bored of this program after 5 years now. But it feels like it's always evolving because I'm always evolving. And so I'm always bringing, well, the latest kind of zeitgeist into the group. And we have these really amazing conversations around the new way of marketing, around the new business paradigm. And you don't get that if you don't join those live calls.
Yes, I agree 100%. Yes. And why, or how can I say it, like, who is this program for? Like, what requirements or what's like the ideal participant? Do they have to be in business for a while? Is it for newbies? Who
Yeah.
gets like, yeah,
The most, yeah.
yeah,
That's the thing about the program, is that it really doesn't matter so much. So it's not this kind of program where it's like, oh, you have to have a 6-figure business already to be able to participate. We don't even like the 6-figure business talk here. But it really depends where you're at in your evolution, I feel like, because some people just know at the very beginning, before they even started their business, they're like, no, I want to build my foundation strongly from the inside out. And they resonate with this idea of going deep and then from the inner to the outer. Other people come and they already had a business for 2 years or even 5 years. And then they realize, it's kind of like this throwing spaghetti at the wall. They're like, yeah, tried everything and followed some of the mainstream marketing advice, and it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't work. And it doesn't feel authentic. And so that's when they come. And then even other participants, and that was my reason for creating the program, because often we're our best ideal client, right? It's like I was 10 years into business and felt like there's just no deep connection to my business anymore. And so I was pivoting my business and making sure that it is sustainable for the rest of my life, basically. So it really, we have all three of those personas, if you want. So it doesn't really matter where you're at. It's more about your personal evolution and really thinking, but there's got to be more. There's got to be a different way for doing this that is not just kind of transactional, but it's transformational. And so that's what this program is, created for.
Yeah. And then, of course, the question, who is it not for, this
Mm.
program?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I guess the opposite description would be like, well, someone who's just wanting to, go into the strategy on how to post on whatever platform, how to, get as many likes and trick the algorithms and get as many clients as possible. So any kind of person who's into quick fixes and instant results, that's not the right person for this program. They're just too much still in this scarcity mindset of thinking, oh, I need to find the latest trick to get immediate results. Deep work that we're doing here, well, that doesn't get you instant results. It gets you long-term results, but they're often not instant.
Okay, I see. Yes, it makes sense. And then the question would be from my side. Now you have these live calls, and you also have added the accountability buddies where you are pairing up two participants to be each other's accountability buddy to meet once a week, and you are also rotating. So why have you installed this into the program as well?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. I really feel like, again, it comes back to partnership, the seventh P of the Humane Marketing Mandala. It's hard to be an entrepreneur and to feel like we are doing this alone, and to feel like we can only ever get help when we pay for it and, pay expensive programs and coaches and mentors. But it's so not true. It's not true. And that's why I feel like these peer relationships, whether that is in this paid program or that is in the community, I think they are so, so helpful. But oftentimes, when you are in the program, you're still living it in this kind of isolated, lonely experience, and you still don't feel like you're part of a group. And you're always wondering, am I doing it right? Is this other person way ahead of me? And so that doesn't feel like a good experience. It still feels like, well, you're excluded rather than included. And so I really want to have participants live this inclusion, because if they experience it here, then I'm hoping that they're going to bring it into their business. And don't we need all of that in our business world, but also just in the world in general?
Okay. And maybe one last question that came to me now. The participants, are they primarily other coaches or service providers, or what's the industry they are in, their background?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of coaches and consultants, definitely more service providers. Um, but right now I'm working with a client one-on-one. She's not in the program, but she's creating products. But the reflection is still the same. The reflection is still, I think, in the new business paradigm. How do I create something that is aligned with my values, with my worldview, and that product that I'm creating is just an extension of that, of my mindset and of my way of thinking. And and if you think about it, that's also what the B Corp movement is all about. They're creating those are companies who are aligned with the same worldview, the same values. And so I think it doesn't matter actually whether you create products or services. And I'm also thinking maybe another question is, well, are the participants only working with other individuals, or are they also working with companies? And the same answer is there. It's like it doesn't matter whether you work with individuals or with companies. In the last cohort, we had, a mix as well, because the new business paradigm sees companies just as a group of individuals where they also have a culture, where they also have a worldview. So it doesn't really matter. The same foundation applies to that as well.
Yes, I see. Yeah. Thank you, Sarah, so much
Thank
for
you for
answering all these questions.
yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
asking me them. And yeah, it's just so much easier to talk about the program rather than thinking of all of it on my own. So thanks for doing it.